Put that candy back, I ain't buying you all that mess. I need a pharmacist to prescribe me some of them drugs I need for my depression. I can't say any swear words, cause this is a college project. Even though I know all them students heard every word in the book. It's very ironic.
What? You do know that you have this big assignment you gotta work on for biology, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah, you got this, signature assignment thing that you were actually supposed to be working on this whole time.
Oh my god, I completely forgot all about that! What the heck is wrong with me? How did I let myself forget about that? What's the assignment about?
I think your topic was about, like, lab-grown meat or something? I don't know, something like that, I think.
Okay, thanks. I need to get this thing done as soon as possible. How long do I have until the due date?
Alright, let's see, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 days.
2 days? I have 2 days to do my research, write the script, and get all the drawing and editing done for a video that's 5 minutes long?
Well, you know what? Maybe you should have started on the project when it was assigned to you at, like, the beginning of the semester. Hey, I had very important business to tend to during that time. You do know that the more filler you add in the beginning of this video, the more Miss Hughes is gonna take off of the assignment, right?
Dude, shut up!
2,000 years later.
I did it! I finished the entire video in just 2 days' time. Now let's watch the final product in full.
Hey, do you like meat? I sure do. I love putting warm, juicy, delicious meat right into my mouth. In fact, most people put meat in their mouths almost every day of their lives. We've all done it. Even vegans have put meat in their mouths at least once, no matter how ashamed they are to admit it. I bet someone's putting meat in their mouths right this second, as they should be. Human beings are omnivores, so putting meat in our mouths is essential to our survival. Meat helps us achieve a healthy, well-balanced diet that not even something as amazing as beans can provide. However, despite meat's necessity in our diet, it sucks that we have to game animals and eat their carcasses in order to obtain their nutrients. Wait, what?
Guys, I think there's a dead animal in that guy's sandwich.
Oh my god. This is not a joke!
No! There's a dead animal in a guy's sandwich! For real! Come on, guys, get the camera! Zoom into it! If only there was a way to be able to enjoy meat without having to commit mass genocide of thousands of farm animals. Oh, yeah. I forgot. That exists. Cultured meat, lab-grown meat, weird science meat, whatever you want to call it. Here lately, scientists have found a way to make meat that doesn't require killing any animals.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Brooke, what is this? I have no idea what a lab-grown patty is, nor do I care what a lab-grown patty is. People are actually losing their lives right now as we speak. You should just sit here and go on about hamburger patties and weird science meat? What does this have to do with our lives?
In 2013, a group of researchers presented a lab-grown hamburger patty to a group of journalists. At the time, said patty costed about $300,000 to produce, and it was a little dry due to the lack of fat cells that make the patty all juicy and stuff. However, since then, the technology used to produce cultured meat has had major advances and is close to becoming cost-effective and efficient enough to be put on the shelves right next to Oscar Mayer's wieners. Why should you know about this? Because in the near future, this could very well be a thing that you can pick up from Walmart in your pajamas that clearly don't fit you anymore. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Yes!
Okay, so cultured meat being sold in stores may not exactly be a problem on its own, depending on whom you ask at least, but there is somewhat of a debate on this issue, and that's what we're gonna dive into today, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like that, here's a simple solution. Get over it!
Well, I don't need you. I'll game end him myself.
According to an article I found on the Washington Post, some place called Michigan University asked about 2,100 people if they'd be willing to consume meat made artificially in a lab. Only about a third of those people said they would. Why is that? Well, for one thing, the term artificial food doesn't really sound appealing, which is kind of a surprise coming from people in America, a country infamous for processed artificial garbage that we all call food. Yeah, I can see why many people wouldn't be too into cultured meat. With people trying so hard to get away from all today's synthetic and processed foods, it's no surprise that most of them would react to cultured meat like, "Ew, I like them!"
Also, cultured meat doesn't have all the nutritional value that natural meat provides.
Of course meat coming from an animal provides more nutrients than something in a lab. I mean, the nutrients comes from girth, strength, it comes from these thighs!
But let's take a minute to be that one weirdo who actually likes this idea and asks, what good can come from artificial meat? Well, for one, it comes from a laboratory instead of a slaughterhouse, so the killers and weirdos and tenants.
But not only does it make animal rights activists happy, according to one of the sources I found on the topic, one tissue sample from a cow can yield enough muscle tissue to make 80,000 quarter pounders.
Which presumably means that this meat can be produced at a very fast pace, which is good for any company wanting to sell this stuff. Think about it. How cool would it be to live in a society where cultured meat was the norm? It'd be way more ethical, you'd be getting 20,000 pounds of meat per cell sample, making meat production faster and more efficient than ever before. Yeah, but it's gross.
Yeah, okay, I'd be lying if I didn't say the production of cultured meat was a little gross. But you know what's even grosser? Keeping hundreds of animals cooped up in a small barn as they wait for their untimely demise, of which we chop up and eat their corpses afterward. So, regardless of where it's coming from, meat production will always be gross.
So, what can we make of all this? What should we do about this incoming epidemic of lab-grown food items? Well, you know what? I just say to let it ride. If you don't like the idea of meat coming from labs, then just keep buying the stuff you normally do and don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll be a little while before this starts to become a thing, and when it does, it's not like we're gonna lose our usual dead animal meat, right? Right?
So spooky.
Ooh, oh my god, so